In today's video, I will teach you how to file taxes in Canada. If you have little to no knowledge about how to do taxes in Canada, then you have come to the right video. I'll go over the basics of how to file your personal income tax return with the CRA, the tax authority in Canada. We'll start off with a high-level overview of how your tax return works, what documents you need to gather, what options are available to you to have your tax return prepared and filed. So let's start off with how your tax return works. The federal government needs money for universal health care, public facilities such as schools and libraries, national defense, interest on our $1.2 trillion federal debt, you name it. About 46% of these costs are paid for by you and I, the taxpayer, through personal income taxes. If you're an employee, at every paycheck, your employer deducts money out as taxes and sends this money directly to the CRA. Now, when it's tax filing season, you're gonna fill out your tax return called a T1 and submit your T1 to the CRA. Now that you understand this, we're gonna dive into the steps of how your tax return works. Step number 1, arriving at your taxable income. On your T1, you will report your income before any taxes from all sources, known as your total income. You will then reduce this number with as many tax deductions as you can claim to arrive at your taxable income. Step 2, calculating net federal tax. Once you have your taxable income, federal tax is calculated on this taxable income using federal tax brackets. If you don't know what tax brackets are, I have linked videos that will explain this to you. Then from this federal tax, any federal non-refundable tax credits that you can claim are deducted to arrive at your net federal tax. Step 3, calculating net provincial tax. You then follow an identical process for provincial tax. Provincial tax is calculated on the same taxable income using provincial tax brackets. Then from this provincial tax, any provincial non-refundable tax credits that you can claim are deducted to arrive at your net provincial tax. Step 4, calculating your tax refund or tax owing. Amounts from step 2 and 3, that is your net federal tax, plus your net provincial tax, are added together to arrive at your total tax bill. Then from this total tax bill, any refundable tax credits that you can claim are deducted. Any taxes already paid to the CRA, such as from your paycheck, are also deducted to arrive at your tax refund or tax owing. If you're an employee and have tax deductions and tax credits, you'll typically find yourself in a refund position. For this reason, I encourage you to file your taxes early to get your refund sooner. You can submit your tax return to the CRA starting February 21st, 2024. Now let's talk about the documents you need to gather to get ready to file your taxes. First, you will need to collect all your tax slips. These tax slips will come from your employer, university, financial institutions where you may have an RRSP savings and investment accounts. These institutions are legally obligated to send you these tax slips so you can report it to the CRA. You should receive most of these tax slips by the end of February, and you can typically download them from your online accounts. When these institutions send you your tax slips, they also send a copy to the CRA. If you have a CRA My account, you can see the documents CRA has from these institutions. I prefer storing tax slips digitally, and for paper receipts to support my filing, I scan these using my Notes app on my iPhone so that I have digital copies. The CRA can pick your tax return to audit, so it really helps to be organized upfront when filing your return. So if the unfortunate occasion does arise, where you get a letter in the mail from the CRA requesting evidence, you are not panicking and scrambling. You know exactly how you arrived at these amounts and can track the supporting documents. The most common tax slips that you may receive are as follows. Your T4 that details how much employment income you earned through the year and the taxes already deducted and paid to the CRA. Your employer is obligated to send your T4 slip before February 29th. RRSP contribution slips. Please collect all your RRSP contribution slips from the different financial institutions where you have an RRSP account. Your T5 that reports the interest and dividends that you earned through the year outside of non-tax sheltered accounts. This T5 slip is given to you by the financial institution where you hold the account. So for example, if you have a savings account with RBC will send you a T5 slip detailing the interest income you earned. your tuition payment slip. Common receipts that you need to get in order are medical expense receipts, childcare expense receipts, charitable donation receipts, receipts for expenses relating to your rental property, interest payments on student loans, digital news subscription receipts. Now that you have all your documents in order, what options are available to you to prepare and file your tax return? You can file your taxes yourself using a tax software or use a tax preparer such as an accountant who will submit it on your behalf. I'm going to share my own experience. In 2016, I moved to Canada from the UK. I had no clue about how to do my taxes. I had a family friend prepare my return, and unfortunately, she missed out a lot of things. I then ventured and bought the TurboTax full expert service, where you have a so-called expert file your taxes. I got on the phone with an individual deemed to be an expert. She was not a qualified accountant and had language barrier issues and could barely understand me. I lost trust and panicked. It was less than 2 weeks away from the April 30th tax filing deadline. I didn't end up filing my taxes through the service, got a refund, and mustered up the courage to file my own taxes. For most of us, as was in my case, I hesitated to do my own taxes because I had never done it before, and I lacked the confidence. I suggest filing your own taxes so that you have a full understanding of how it works, especially if you're an employee, since your tax return will be straightforward. I recommend downloading a self-guided tax software and filing your taxes electronically and not opting for paper filing. The software performs automatic calculations, reducing errors. With filing online, the CRA aims to get you your notice of assessment and any refunds within 2 weeks as opposed to 8 weeks when you file a paper return. The software I use is the TurboTax Software Download Standard Edition. It is user-friendly, self-guided, and holds your hand through the process. If you have children, dependents, or you may be retired, the software guides you through the tax credits and tax deductions that may be applicable to your specific circumstance. It costs $38 and you can file up to 8 tax returns, so you can share it with family and friends. One point to note is that the software only works on Windows and not on Macs. Once you've downloaded the tax software, you will then fill out your tax return and submit it electronically to the CRA. Finally, if you have a tax refund, you can receive your money sooner by signing up for direct deposit on your CRA My account. So that wraps up the entire tax filing process. In my next video, I will take you through a step-by-step TurboTax walkthrough on how to file your taxes. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.